Hello there, lovely people. So I am answering the question, does autism have a so-called look? Now, a lot of those of us who are autistic have often been told, you don't look autistic. This doesn't mean anything. In a way, yes, there are traits that can be visible, which may allow you to know that someone is autistic, such as seeing someone stim, seeing someone visibly struggle to communicate, someone seeming a little bit socially awkward, those sorts of things. But the thing is, not everyone has the visible traits, and as well as this, some people have the visible traits sometimes and not at other times, and as well as this, those visible traits could also be signs of other things. For example, in school, teachers often said to me, you don't seem autistic, you don't look autistic, you're communicating quite well. And although I can verbally communicate well, I actually do struggle to read social cues, but that is a much more invisible trait because you can't see physically that I'm struggling to read social cues. I do actually have visible autistic traits. I do stim, I rock back and forth, I flap my hands, I jump up and down, but I don't have those traits all the time. Like, I don't stim constantly, but I do stim a lot. But still, a lot of people, when they don't see me stim, are like, you don't look autistic. And I'm like, well, that's just because I'm not stimming right now at this moment. And also, a lot of autistic people have more subtle stims, like hair twirling, which may not be picked up by other people. And of course, there are some autistic people who do have more visible traits and may have the visible traits all the time. They may be completely non-verbally speaking. They may never make eye contact. They may constantly stim. But again, every autistic person is different. And just because a person does not have any visible traits does not mean that they are not experiencing traits. So, as another example, when I was in class at year 9, I didn't. I didn't show any visible autistic traits in class. I basically didn't look autistic at that time, but because I didn't look like the stereotype of autism, some people didn't believe I was autistic, which was very frustrating because not everybody looks like a stereotype. Not everyone looks like the most visible case. Some people have more subtle traits that are more internalized, but they may not show on the outside. But this doesn't mean that a person doesn't struggle. And as well as this, it wasn't letting me pause then when I needed to pause, and it was annoying me. Pasta. By the way, those tics aren't part of my autism. I have another condition as well. But basically, in regards to the autistic traits, right now you may think, well, you don't seem that autistic, which again, it's not always visible. But there are times when you'd see me and you'd be like, actually, no, that is a very big autism trait. Like, for example, when I was 18, I remember just laying on the floor and like crying and having a meltdown because I was hungry. And most 18-year-olds don't do that.